Hello, everyone. I am Kelly, the co-founder of Galileo, and I am here with Danny Gomez, and we are excited to present next month's nano degree, the human side of artificial intelligence. So a little bit about Danny as he's joining us for the first time to present a nano degree. He is a multidisciplinary researcher in artificial mathematical intelligence and cognitive teaching. He earned his PhD in mathematical sciences and recently completed his research for a postdoc at Vienna University of Technology. Danny is also the founder and leader of Artificial Mathematical Intelligence and the network. You're going to have to tell me how you pronounce that word.
Arminte. No, yes, Arminte.
Arminte. So cool. Welcome, Danny. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kelly. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you in Galileo.
Amazing. So can you begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got so passionate about artificial mathematical intelligence?
Okay, actually, of course. Yes, about my life, about a little bit about my academic life. I'm a mathematician. I was very, very curious since high school and about proving stuff, about finding arguments for understanding the universe, for understanding structures, for understanding the qualitative and quantitative features of reality a lot. There, I get a lot of passion for mathematics. Then I start to study a lot of mathematics. I do my PhD, master program, bachelor, everything in mathematics. And then during my PhD, when I was doing with my advisor and co-advisor my thesis, I have the feeling that a strong feeling that you can understand how their mind creates this mathematics or embed this mathematics. I was really, really curious for that. I was really deep in myself, doing a lot of kind of introspection, thinking about my thinking, how I create these ideas. And then I moved after my PhD was finished. I moved to a cognitive science institute, in particular to the artificial intelligence group of the Cognitive Science Institute of the University of Osnabrück. And then I do my first postdoc was there 4 years. They understand a lot about the mind and my passion for understanding really, really how our mind creates mathematics grow bigger. And then I was in a huge research project from the European Union called Concept Invention. And there I get a lot of elements about the cognitive mechanisms that our mind uses for creating structures, for creating formal structures. For example, when you do analogical thinking, metaphorical reason, when you say life is like a carousel, you say life is like a war, life is like a paradise or something like that. This is metaphor. You create metaphors there. Then I study a lot about that. And then after that, I get a lot of inspiration for writing a book. And then I wrote the first book on Earth about creating artificial mathematical intelligence. It means creating artificial agents which are able to help us to create conceptually mathematics, to solve mathematical problems from the conceptual point of view. It's not just doing computations, but creating concepts. Just the researchers in mathematics and related disciplines in creating concepts. And then I spent my second postdoc in the Technical University of Vienna. And then, it takes for me a little more or less 7 years to write this book. And the book was published last year on October 24th. And it started to have a lot of people interested on these issues, because a lot of people on the foundations of artificial intelligence, this problem was very huge. Also for Alan Turing, for a lot of people, Newell, for a lot of researchers at the beginning, was a big problem. How we can create robots, we are able to do mathematics. And this problem had suffered a lot of changes through history. In the last 20 years, it started to think the people, no, it's not possible, it's too difficult or something like that. And what I try to do is to try to resurrect the whole program of creating artificial intelligence for doing mathematical creation and research. Yeah, that is Summarize a answer. Sorry for the long time with the answer, but
No,
it's a
that's
little
so
bit.
amazing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, trying to wrap my head around it. Like, I think I need to come to this nano degree. Let's focus on what we're going to share for the students. So throughout these 4 weeks in March, they will be working through the human side of artificial intelligence with you. What can the students expect throughout this month? And what will be the final project at the end of the nano degree?
Ah, yes. First, the approach that I want to take mainly is that we understand artificial intelligence as a derivative, as a consequence of human intelligence, how our minds are able to solve problems. Yeah. And then I will introduce in the course a very holistic version of what intelligence is. Intelligence is not only something internal, but it touches something completely external. You need to understand something in your cognition, in your phenomenology, in your consciousness, and then after you are processing this information, when you are able to change something for the better, to solve a specific problem, then are you showing intelligence at a general level. With this like of ontological basis, I introduce also artificial intelligence. In the first week, I will talk mainly about what is human intelligence is, what are the different materializations of human intelligence. And in fact, I would like to give to the students this feeling that our intelligence is something very complex and huge. We have a very powerful machine in our heads, in our whole bodies. It's the most powerful conceptual machine that we can ever see in nature. And this is still a mystery. I will try to give a notion, but I also will open to see, okay, intelligence is also a mystery. I don't want to solve this mystery in the nano degree. I just want to make you conscious that you have a huge potential in your minds, which is able to solve problems at a very wide range of possibilities. Yeah, that would be the first like touch. The second one would be, okay, we humans, we are so intelligent that we are able to simulate this human intelligence in machines. Okay. This is some very like auto-reflexive power that our minds have. We can use our intelligence to study our own intelligence capabilities and also the intelligence of different people. And from this, with this basis, I would like to classify, roughly speaking, two kinds of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, which is global, is like in the movies that you want to create a kind of ex machina, a human being which is completely an artificial machine, which is intelligence in any dimension in which a human being is intelligence. This is like a global intelligence, and also local intelligence. Local intelligence, I want to create a machine which is able to do a very specific task like a human being. For example, playing chess, playing Go like a human being. This is enough. This is local intelligence. And I would like to have these two different, role speaking, different kinds of artificial intelligence in mind. This is important. And also to show that in these two categories, we're very different. We are very in very different states of the art. Very quite different. After that, I will talk about the sources of information about artificial intelligence. This is a very tricky issue. It's not so easy because we receive information about artificial intelligence mainly with three sources, which are very different ones. Scientific ones, through companies which sell artificial intelligence implicitly, and through digital animation arts or movies or fantastic arts. And the three sources are very different, but the three have a very strong influence in our minds. Then, due to some features of our brains, we tend to mix all this information that we have, and it could create in our mind a sensation that we are in the era of Terminator. That we are about to create an artificial general intelligence which is able to destroy the humanity. And we need to be very careful, cognitively speaking, because artificial intelligence have a lot also of fantasy. You can be very creative in creating fantasies and fairy tales about that with no scientific reason at all. Therefore, I also discuss these topics. And lastly, I also discuss a kind of objective test, holistic artificial general intelligence test, where you can prove if something really is artificial intelligence or not. I will discuss this idea mainly. A test that I create with some colleague of mine in Vienna. And finally, the project will be mainly you create, you will think, or each of the students would think in a very, very important problems that we are facing today, the pandemic, hungry, climate change, different stuff. And you you should think on this problem, and also you should try to figure out what kind of artificial intelligence or human intelligence would be good to solve this problem. And under this line, you will create like a conceptual framework of what would be better, that we have human intelligence for solving this problem, or we have just artificial intelligence, or should we have a kind of mixture of both of them? Human beings, very intelligent human beings with a lot of sensibility about climate change, for example, with help of artificial agents. That will be the main framework of the final project of the nanodegree. Yes.
Wow, so it sounds like you're really going to break it down for them to conceptualize and to really like understand these concepts. So, for anyone that is interested in joining, are there any age restrictions, or is there any background knowledge or experience, any technology that's required to join? And are you really going to invite students at the age of 8 to this nano degree? This is so amazing. How will this work? Yeah.
Now, mainly, that was something that I think with when I was creating the nano degree. You know what I have in mind? I have people which are now understanding the world through technology. Yeah, they was born in the 2010 or something like that, or 12, 15, and they have a feeling that a lot of stuff is artificial, that these small devices are too intelligent. Therefore, I was having in my mind, no, I want a very natural course where you don't need a kind of prerequisites about programming, about understanding a lot of computer issues, complexity theory about programming, short student thesis or computational, science, nothing at all. You just need to be a human being, which have a feeling about technology. And I think most of the people between 8 and 18, that they have this feeling, and they are open. They want to really know, from an objective point of view, not just from the movies or for the advertisement, or they really want to know what is happening there. Is this really true? Is this really true that we are too near to the singularity, to this, auto creative artificial intelligence, or what is the truth about that? And it is a fundamental question for people who want to choose a bachelor degree. They want to study something in school. They want to, to get deeper in some issues. For me, it's always fundamental as a scientist to know the truth, the most objective truth about anything. And this issue, due to the former reason, is a very tricky issue. It's a very, a little bit dark issue because you have a lot of information, you don't know who is telling you the truth. And then if I were 80 years old and then someone can give me an objective answer, would be someone which is doing research in artificial intelligence like me. And therefore, I know that. Therefore, I want to tell the people the most objective truth about the global issue. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. We are so lucky to have you. And I know that you've come in for a Meet Your Mentors meeting before. So having this mentorship and having these passionate people like yourself come in and educate our students, I mean, this is going to be unprecedented that 8-year-olds can come and learn from experts like yourself. So we're really excited to have this nano degree starting in March. Any lasting words or advice if someone's watching this video and maybe they're interested in joining? What are some last words you can share with them?
Yeah. I really would like to invite you to take the course. This is a unique, I create this nano degree. I give some courses about similar courses in universities. I give private courses about that. I'm quite sure. I mean, you won't see this kind of nano degree too often. This is for sure. because I know a lot of colleagues of mine, and either they are very skeptic, they say, no, you don't get anything, but they don't give arguments. Of some people are very, very optimistic. They say, no, we are now in the era of Terminator. But I have not found a kind of balance between them, a kind of balance. You don't need any kind of prerequisite. You can really enjoy. I try to do the degree so enjoyable, be possible, really, really a funny stuff where you can laugh a lot and you can learn also tons of knowledge. And this is not only important because of artificial intelligence. This is most important because of you. You have a mind which is intelligent, and you need to see where a little bit the scope or the limits of your intelligence. Therefore, these topics touch your life completely, completely. Your notion about how intelligent are you is fundamental for your life. This is something that I want to touch very deeper in the course, and therefore I really recommend the whole people of Galileo, even the president, the owner, co-owner, to go. Each one can learn something which is very, very valuable, and I have spent 2 decades learning this in order to give it in a very, very easy way.
Amazing. So cool, Danny. I'm so excited. Well, I will be there. I'm adding it to my calendar right after we hang up today. So thank you so much for sharing in this short little interview. Please sign up in the Students Dojo. And if you're not a part yet of Galileo, come in and join us for this coming nano degree. Thank you so much, Danny. See you next month.
See you, Kelly. Thank you very much.